Welcome everybody to our Green Acres. I'm so glad you came over to our channel today. And if you are new to my channel, I want to introduce myself. My name is Teresa. Today's video, I'm going to show you how we can take some $1 and $2 items and turn them into some really cute shabby chic French country farmhouse decor. Some will be from the Dollar Tree and some I've purchased from yard sales. So y'all stay tuned. I hope y'all love the video. I hope you get lots of inspirations and ideas for your home. If you haven't joined my Facebook home decor page, I'd love for you to go over and join it, and also go over and follow me on Pinterest and Instagram. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd love for you to, and also hit that notification bell so you'll be notified each time I upload a video. Thanks so much. Okay, let's get started, y'all. The first project's going to be a galvanized planter. Now, I purchased this at a church fundraiser yard sale, and I only paid $1 for it. Now, I don't know if y'all have watched many of my videos, but if you have followed me along on my channel for very long, you know I do not do a lot of galvanized in my home because it kind of blends in with my backgrounds. So I always usually spray paint and do something else with it. So that's what I'm going to do with this project. I spray painted it with Rust-Oleum white spray paint. Now I'm going to use some stencils that I absolutely love, and I'm going to do the same stencil on each side. I was going to go with two different ones, but I thought it would look better if they were consistent and they were the same. And I always have all the stencils that I use in my videos linked down below in my Amazon storefront. So I'm just going to use some Waverly ink chalk paint, and then I'm going to use these good little stencil brushes, and I also have these stencil brushes linked in my store. So I'm just going to go over it and give it a quick little makeover with the stencil, and then I'm going to make a bow for it, stick some flowers in it, and I thought this turned out so cute. Now this is like some little burlap, some new little burlap ribbon that I found at my Dollar Tree. I think this is one of their fall items, and I'm just going to loop it. And if you've ever watched me make bows on my channel, I like to do about 3 loops on each side. So you basically just do, loop from side to side. I do 3, and then I'm just going to cinch it in the center, tie it off with some twine, and we got a nice little bow. Now, project number 2 is going to be another really easy transformation. This is another yard sale find, and I've had this for a few years and I've never used it. And the reason why is because it's so dark colored. So now I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get some Rust-Oleum white spray paint. I'm going to spray paint it, and then I'm going to show you some ideas of some ways that you can style it. And I love the little glass little knob at the top. It just screwed off real easy. So it was real easy for me to take it outside and get it spray painted. And then I just screwed it back on. Okay, project number 3. Now, these are some more church fundraiser yard sale finds. They had 3 of these. So I picked up 2 of them. But these are basically some silverware wooden boxes. So if you ever happen up on these at some yard sales or some thrift stores, or maybe you have one at home that you're just not using, these make amazing storage boxes. We can make over the outside of it. We can give it some chalk paint. I'm going to show you how we can stencil it with a new stencil I got, give it some distressing, and we can use this box for so many things. As far as storing, your craft paints, you could put jewelry in it, old letters. The sky is the limit on what we can do with this. So the first thing I'm doing, and y'all know, again, if y'all watched many of my videos, y'all know I love this candle wax method before I paint. You rub it all over the base of whatever you're painting, and don't be afraid of the candle wax. Just lather it on everywhere you can, because it's not going to hurt anything, and then apply your paint. Now I think I ended up putting 2 coats on this, and maybe 3 in some areas that it needed a little bit more paint. And then, once you put that candle wax on it and you get your chalk paint on it and your paint dries, then we're just going to go over it with a plastic scraper. And the plastic scraper that I use, I purchased these from Pampered Chef many years ago, but you can still get these. I think you get 3 to a pack for $5. So if you know someone that sells Pampered Chef, you may want to, get with them and see if they can get you some of these ordered. You can also use these in the kitchen. I've used these. I couldn't live without these little plastic scrapers. This is what I clean my Teflon, my non-stick pans with, and they don't scratch. So these things are awesome. But I'm just going around now. I'm distressing in the areas I want it distressed, mainly around the edges. And then too, I love to get the corners of a piece, because the corners are a lot of times are going to be worn on something that's old. So I'm going to go around in my corners and get those really good and make it look, chippy looking. And then I'm going to go over it and smooth it all out really well with my sanding block. Now, y'all, this is a new stencil that I got, and of course it's in my Amazon store under stencils. I have a huge selection to choose from, but I love this one. I was so excited when I found it, and then it finally came in the mail, and I couldn't wait to use it. But it is going to fit perfect on this silverware box. So I'm going to again use my my Waverly ink chalk paint, because it's a really good color in black, and to me it stencils really well. So the first thing you want to do when you're putting on your stencil on something, get your ruler, kind of measured out, get it in the center the best you can. And then I always love to use painter's tape. To me, this doesn't pull up your paint, and it holds your stencil down, and it works really well. So I always prefer the painter's tape. Now, the stencil, just to give you a few tips, always unload your brush on a little plate or, some kind of surface before you go down to stencil. Don't load it up with paint and start stenciling. Try to get as much of that paint off of your brush as you can. And you can see I just kind of tap it, on that little paper plate, and then do one layer over your whole stencil kind of lightly. And then once your stencil is on there, work over your whole stencil, and the first part of your stencil that you've put down, that paint will dry. Then go back over it and kind of darken it up in some areas if you went kind of light with the paint, and because that will hold your stencil down. Once that paint dries, it kind of holds it down and it doesn't bleed through. So just a few tips on stenciling, and trust me, I'm not a pro by any means, but I'm still learning as I go. So I think this box turned out really well. Now, project number 4 is the same thing. And like I told y'all, I bought 2 of these, and I paid $2 each for them. Now, this one's got a little drawer in the front, so it's got even more storage. It's not as big, but I'm going to leave the insides just like they are, because they're glued really well, and I felt like if you went and tried to, recover it on the inside, I just felt like I would have made a mess out of it trying to pull all of that out. But I think those little dividers and stuff, I think they will work well. If you store jewelry in it, or, your paintbrushes or something like that, those little dividers may come in handy. So this one is a light colored wood, so I am not going to distress it because I feel like it doesn't have, a dark, good enough base on it. So I'm going to use my new paint that I got at Stevens Antiques, and if you are interested, I'm going to have his store link down below, but he sells this paint in so many colors, and you get a really pretty smooth finish. And it's the Farmhouse, and I'm going to use the, I think it's called the white cotton. And then we use the same stencil. I did the same thing. I just, got it in the center of my box. I went over it with the Waverly ink chalk paint, and see what a great stencil this, like I say, I thought this stencil just worked out perfect for these 2 boxes. All right, project number 5. We're moving right along. So in this one, I want to show y'all, this is something that I made for the 4th of July. And since, of course, 4th of July is over, I'm going to repurpose this. I'm going to make something else out of it. And that's the lovely thing about picture frames or projects. You can just keep repurposing them, seasonal, or you just, whenever you get tired of it, if you've created it and you get tired of it, you can repurpose it and create it another way. So this frame was a barn, it was like a barn sale, and I think I paid $1 or $2 for it. And I do have another video on how, I transformed it for the patriotic theme. But now I'm gonna do something else with it, just so we can, it's not seasonal. So I'm just using that glass I ripped off. I'd covered it in drop cloth, and I'm using hot glue to secure it around all the sides and the ends. And once I get that down, then you've got a really smooth surface, and we're going to add a stencil to it. I love stenciling on fabric. So in this video today, I'm just trying to show y'all different ways you can get real creative with your stencils, and different ways of things you can stencil on. We just stencil on wood. Now we're going to stencil on fabric. And like I say, I think stenciling on fabric is probably one of my favorite things to do. I have more luck on the fabric. It doesn't seem like my stencils bleed as much. And so again, I'm just kind of always try to mark where the center of my base is, and that way it kind of gives me an idea of where to place my stencil. And once you get it placed down, again, I'm going to go in with that painter's tape, and I'm going to secure it down really well. And I'm going to use Waverly ink again, because I don't know, I love using black chalk paint for my stenciling. And again, just go over your whole stencil and just kind of tap it off, and then that way, and then like I say, go over your whole stencil lightly, and then go back over it at the top, because as you go, it doesn't take long for the paint to dry, and once it dries, it kind of seals down that stencil. So the next time you go around it or go over it, you shouldn't have any bleeding, because your stencil should be stuck down, to your base pretty good. So here this is, and I love that stencil. I use it a lot. And if you've watched any of my videos before, I know you remember this stencil. It's one of my favorites. Now I'm just going to put it back in the frame. I'm going to use some hot glue around the edges to secure it back in. And then we're going to add some really cute bows. And I have a video already on how to make these, so I'll link it down below. But these are really fun and easy bows to make, and they embellish things so well. And so, I just made them out of random fabric that I had. I think that's some flour sack cloth. And then also I think I made one out of drop cloth. And the other one is made out of flour sack cloth. That's both of those are made out of flour sack cloth that I've stained with coffee. And I'm going to embellish them with some Totally Dazzled jewelry. And if you don't have any Totally Dazzled jewelry, I highly recommend going out and shopping their website, because they have some great items to choose from, and they work so good on your crafts and your projects. And of course, I'll have a link to Totally Dazzled down below, my affiliate link. So if you're interested, just click on my link and it'll take you straight to their website. Now I'm just using some hot glue. I'm going to secure these on, and I think this turned out so cute. So now we went from a patriotic piece, now we've transformed it into a little shabby chic French country piece. Now, project number 6 is going to be another frame. I love working on frames. Frames are so inexpensive. You can reuse them and repurpose them, as many times as you want to. So this is another frame I picked up at a yard sale, and I probably paid 50 cents to $1 for it. Frames are so inexpensive, and that's why they're so much fun, to transform and make your own decor for your home. Whether you hang it on the wall, maybe you put it in a tier tray, or you just need something, to add a little extra detail to that space that you may be struggling with. Just customize and make your frame the way you want it. Now, this is a piece of like burlap scrapbook paper. I love this. And I had a sweet viewer that sent me a big package of a lot of stuff, and this was in it. So I'm going to use it. I've been dying to use it, so now I'm going to use it. And I just took that little picture that was in that frame, and I used it for my template, and I just went around it, I cut it, and now I'm going to secure it down with some hot glue. Now I'm going to add a graphic, And y'all know I love the Graphics Fairy because they have so much to choose from. I love going out there and just looking through everything they have. So I just printed this off of the Graphics Fairy website. They have tons of free printables and downloads. And now I just use some spray adhesive. I use Gorilla Spray. But you always want to take this outside and spray it. I don't like to spray it inside because it's very strong. And then I just, put it on my scrapbook paper, and then I'm just going to fit it back into the frame. And then we have another piece of really cute, like I say, wall decor, or you can just put this in any space that, this would be really pretty on a vanity too, I think, with your jewelry or your perfume. And then I'm using my solar wood flowers, and I've got a video on how you can dye these. So I'm going to link it down below. But don't forget, if you use my promo code Teresa to the end of July, you can get $10 off of your first order. So make sure to go out, and I'll have all their information linked below also. Now, on project number 7, it's going to center all around these little Dollar Tree frames and these little rusted scissors that I got at a yard sale for 25 cents each. I love these. Now, just take your little Dollar Tree frames. These are so popular. I know y'all have seen other YouTube creators do things with these little frames. I picked up 3 of them, I've had them for a while, and I'm repurposing them. I've made other videos showing you ideas with them. So I'm just going to repurpose them again, and I'm going to take some more graphics from the Graphics Fairy. I'm just going to go around it. I'm going to go around the outside just to get an idea of what the inside. I'll have to resize it because when you go around the outside of the frame, that's going to be too large because the inside is smaller. So I'm going to get it to where I can get it inside the frame, and then I'm just going to go around once I get it in there and kind of bend it where I need to cut more off. And this is the easiest way to me. Instead of cutting it with your scissors, moisten your fingers. I just kind of licked mine and just kind of moisten it and tear it. It will tear really easy. If you crease it really good, moisten it, see how that does, and then you've got a really clean finished edge versus cutting it. Because a lot of times when I cut things with the scissors, I'm going to go crooked and then it's not going to fit and it's not going to be the right size. So then I'm just going to take my little Dollar Tree glue stick, and I'm just going to apply this little vintage handwriting little graphic that I downloaded from the Graphics Fairy. I'm just going to put it in, and then I decided I should have painted the frame just to kind of freshen it up. Now, you don't have to do this, but to me, I wanted it to be white, so I just went around it real quick with some white linen chalk paint. And again, I'm going to add my solar wood flowers. Y'all, if y'all have not purchased or gotten any of these yet, I highly recommend it because I have used I ordered a pack of 100. I've almost used all of them. I've got some more on the way. I absolutely love these for all of my projects. So now I'm going to take this come from a little box. It was called, I think it was a collage kit that I purchased at a yard sale for $2. And in the box, you just got a bunch of stuff that you could use for scrapbooking. And, it had a lot of these little, little shabby chic little things in it. So I'm just taking some of those. And this is where you just get creative. You use whatever you have in your craft supplies, and you make it any way you want to. And then I'm going to highlight it now with those little rusted scissors. And I thought this turned out so cute. Because basically the thing with these little boxes, we're kind of making them like shadow boxes. And these are so much fun to work on. I had 3 of them. And that I just took a little doily. I stained it with some leftover coffee. And then I just kind of bunched it up. I'm going to secure it down with a little bit of hot glue. And then this is like a little coin or a little medallion that come in that little collage kit. And I'm just going to stick it in there. But you could add pearls to it, just about anything. And just, like I say, take whatever little vintage or, mementos that you have and make your shadow box, any way you want to. Now, project number 8 is going to be another one of the little Dollar Tree frames. Now, I'm repurposing this one from a previous video I did a while back. And I took the back off this one and I covered it with some fabric. And now when I took it out of the frame, it had come loose. So I'm just kind of retacking it. And then this one, I've already went over it with some white chalk paint and kind of freshened it up. And then I'm going to put my back in, and then I'm going to show you how we can use the IOD stamps. Iron Orchid, these are the Iron Orchid Croc stamps. I'm going to take one of those. I'm going to use my little ink pad. I'm going to go over it really well with my ink, and you just lay it down. Now, I have several videos on how to use these stamps, and I can link those below. But you basically want to secure it down with one hand, go around with your other hand, and work it down on your base as best you can in all the areas without moving your stamp. Because if you move your stamp, then it's going to bleed. So you really want to hold it down and then just, take it up, and look how neat that looked. A little Dollar Tree dollar frame, and we made it into something so cute. Now here again is when you can get real creative with your shadow box. You can use little vintage cookie cutters like I'm doing. You can use little maybe vintage spools, whatever little items that you have. You could put like some vintage pictures in this. You can add a little bow to embellish it. You can put your solo flowers on it. There's so many little things you can do with these boxes. So just get creative with it, and like I say, just go with whatever you have, and and however you want to theme your box. So now this is another not a Dollar Tree frame. This is another yard sale frame, and I've had this for years, and I'm sure I paid 50 cents to $1 for it. I love the color of it. I used that color for a while, but now I want to do something different with it. So again, I'm going to take my white linen chalk paint. I'm going to distress it with my little plastic scraper, because of course, I didn't show it on film because I know y'all get tired of that green candle. But I did cover it in my candle wax before I started, and then I'm just going to go around and distress it, in the corners and around the edges, and just kind of bring that green out and just make it look old and worn. Okay, now that we have it distressed, and you can just see how well that little plastic scraper works. No sandpaper involved on this. So now I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take the little glass. I'm going to use that for a template. And again, I went out to the graphics fairy and I downloaded, I think this is called Vintage Handwriting. They have so much to choose from, if you want to get, some that's, and it comes in, some of it looks real aged, and it'll be aged colored. This was just the black and the white, and I thought that would go better in the frame. So I'm going to use it, and then I'm just going to adhere it to the back of my frame with using some, again, some Elmer's little school glue. And this little school glue is so good just to do little projects like this. It's no mess. You don't have to go outside and do the Gorilla Spray. And it holds this kind of paper down really well. And then I'm just going to put it back in my frame. And then I'm going to touch it in the corners with my hot glue just to secure it down really good. And then I'm going to take a little vintage key. And these little keys come in that little collage kit that I got at the yard sale for $2. It was just packed with some really neat little things to do. So I'll try to link it down below if I can find it. And, if you're interested, it's got a ton of stuff in it to make projects with. And then I just tied a piece of flour sackcloth around it, just give it, a little vintage look to it. And then I'm going to take my solo wood flowers that I have dyed and stained, and I'm just going to coordinate my colors. I just want to bring out some pink, and then that, that coffee stain just gives it more of that vintage look. And this one I just left natural. Okay, project number 10. We're going to take a frame, and this frame I have had for years, y'all. It started out, it was blue, and I'm sorry I don't have footage of it because it's before I had my YouTube channel, and I've already tried to paint it, and it didn't, I don't know, I kept seeing that little line around it, so I kind of just threw it back in my stash, and that's where it's been for a couple of years. Well, I love it. It looks like a little window, so I'm getting this back out thinking, you know what? You are about to be recreated. I'm going to make you into something. So I got it back out. I did my white linen chalk paint on it, gave it another coat of paint, and y'all, it looks great. So now I'm just going to cut some some of that foam board from Dollar Tree, and I just cut it the size of my frame, and then again I'm going around it with a piece of drop cloth, and I'm just going to secure it around on the sides and the ends with some hot glue, and you just want to pull it tight as you go, just so you'll have a really smooth front. So on the front, I'm going to show you how easy it is. Again, once you get this, how easy it is to put your favorite stencil on this, and then you've got a great piece that's framed. And like I say, this you can use for so many things. And something that I had in my stash that is so cute, and it was just taking up room, and now it's functional. We've made it into something really cute. So I'm just putting it back in my frame so I can make sure that it's going to fit okay once I got the drop cloth on it, and it does. So now I'm going to go in another stencil that I ordered, y'all. I absolutely love this. So this one is Greene's. In this one, I don't know, I've been wanting this one for a long time, so I finally found it and I purchased it, and I'm only going to be able to use part of it because that bottom is not going to fit. But I'm going to put everything down to the bottom of the wreath on it, and again, using my stencil brush that I got from Amazon and my Waverly ink chalk paint, I'm going to go over it, and I'm going to add a cute little stencil to this. And y'all, it is that easy just to make your own wall decor. Drop cloth is so inexpensive. And like I say, the foam board, if this picture would have had glass in it, I could have covered the glass, but it came without glass. And see now how cute it is. Okay, project number 11, y'all, the last one. So this is another one of those little golf pictures. There was a pair of them. So this one, all I'm going to do is I'm going to spray paint it white, and then I'm going to do the same technique that y'all have already seen me do, but I'm just going to give you some more inspiration and ideas of again, how you can just use a very inexpensive frame that you may pick up at the thrift store or the yard sale. Once my stencil was dry, then I'm just going to go in now. I'm going to insert this into my frame, and I'm just going to use some hot glue to go around, the inside edges of my frame and secure my graphic in it. Now, I'm also going to show you a couple of things that you can do as far as bow options. I love to add bows to frames and things that I make, and I have several videos on how to make bows, and I make all different kinds of bows. But on this one, I'm going to show you a couple of options. I'm going to end up at the end when I style it with a messy bow, but I'm just showing you here how you can make those little bows that I made with chopsticks, and then you also can add one of those little bows that I make where you just kind of, twist your fabric or your drop cloth around in a circle, and then I just added that to the center, and then I just added some tails. A lot of times tails will add so much to your bow, and especially if you have something like a frame and you want something to go on the side to give it a little bit more detail, just add some tails with a little bit of twine, and you've got a great little embellishment. So now I'm going to sit back and just let y'all see the many ways that I can style these pieces, and just let you see a better look and get more details on everything that I made in today's video. And I hope y'all enjoyed the styling, and if you're interested in any of these items that I've made in today's video, most of them will be for sale, and they will be at Stevens Antiques in Rogersville, Alabama. But you can also contact him down below in my description box. All of his information is there. You can get in touch with him, and he can give you more information on the items you're interested in, and also on shipping options. So I hope y'all enjoy the styling. Okay, y'all, we're getting close to the end of the video again. Time for me to tell y'all goodbye. I hope y'all enjoyed the video today, and I hope y'all enjoyed seeing, so many ways that you can use very inexpensive frames and how you can recreate them to make your own wall decor, or, things for your tier trays, or just for any space in your home that you need something. You can customize it and make them any way you want to. And I'm trying to give y'all ideas of things you can do. They're very inexpensive, and, a few things we got at the Dollar Tree and things that you can look for at yard sales and thrift stores. And don't forget to go out and check out the Solar Flowers and use my promo code. We still got, a couple more weeks to be able to use that promo code. So don't forget, go to my description box. You have the link to go to Stephen's Antiques if you want to get any information on the items you've seen in today's video. They will be for sale. And also don't forget to go out and click on my Totally Dazzled affiliate link and go out and shop their website. And also a lot of the things you saw in the video today that I use for my DIYs are linked in my Amazon store. So as always, y'all, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I love y'all, and I will plan to see y'all again in my next video. Bye, y'all.